You know, there's this massive cost hitting literally every single organization out there, but almost no one talks about it. It's not something you'll find on a budget line, but believe me, it's draining resources every single day. We're talking about the hidden cost of workforce performance.
So let this sink in for a second. Every organization is already paying for workforce performance. That's really the core idea of this whole explainer. You're already spending the money. The only real question is, what are you getting for it? All right, so let's dig into this cost that nobody really sees. I mean, most businesses, right? They think they have a pretty good handle on their workforce costs. But the truth is, the budget lines, they only ever tell half the story. I mean, we all budget for the obvious stuff, don't we? You know the drill. Recruitment expenses, a certain amount of turnover that we just kind of shrug off as the market, and yeah, that bit of underperformance we just tolerate because, well, that's just how things are. These are the costs we can see, the ones we plan for.
But here's the thing. It's what's lurking beneath the surface that's really dangerous. These are the costs that you'll never find on a balance sheet, but they are quietly eating away at your organization. We're talking about endless rework, the huge risks you're exposed to, the damage to your reputation, and honestly, the absolute burnout of your best leaders who are just stuck fighting fires all day long.
So what's the end result of all this? Well, over time, as all these hidden costs just stack up, the entire mindset of the organization starts to shift. You stop asking those great forward-thinking questions like, how can we improve? How can we lead? And you get stuck asking, how do we just cope?
So, you got to ask yourself, is this because people aren't trying? Is it a failure of intent? Are your leaders and your employees just not trying hard enough? And the answer, almost always, is a resounding no. The good intentions are there. The real problem, well, it's buried a lot deeper.
See, the problem isn't about intent at all. It's really a failure of control. And here's the kicker. The very systems we all rely on to manage our people, they were never actually designed to build and guarantee high performance.
And this slide really shows you the fundamental disconnect. On one hand, you've got what our systems are great at: recording qualifications, tracking if someone completed a training course, ticking compliance boxes. But then look at what they don't tell you. They don't tell you if people can actually perform to the job's expectations. They don't tell you if they can do it consistently. And they certainly don't tell you if they can do it on-site under real pressure. There's this massive, massive gap between the paperwork and actual performance.
So if you don't have any real evidence of what people can do, what are leaders left with? Well, basically, guesswork. They're just forced to cross their fingers and hope that their people will do the right thing when it really matters.
And let's be crystal clear on this point. Hope is not a workforce strategy. It's just not. And relying on it is exactly why all those hidden costs we talked about just keep piling up, completely unchecked.
Okay, so if hope isn't the answer, then what is? It's simple, really. The solution is to take back control. It's about making a fundamental shift, moving away from a culture of just hoping for the best to a culture of actually knowing.
And the path to get there is actually pretty straightforward. It really boils down to 3 steps. Step 1, you have to clearly define what good performance actually looks like in every single role. No ambiguity. Step 2, you need to support your people to help them achieve it. And step 3, and this is crucial, you have to verify it in real time on the job, not just in a training room.
Now, it is so important to get this next point. This is not about working people harder. It's not about cracking a whip or trying to squeeze more out of them. It's about something much smarter. It's about designing the whole system, the work itself, how people learn, how accountability works, designing it all properly so that everyone is set up for success from the get-go.
And when you make that shift, that's when you unlock what we call the high-performance payoff. This is where you stop just playing defense, managing risk, and you start playing offense, compounding real, tangible value.
Suddenly, the day-to-day reality in your organization looks completely different. For starters, people actually know what good looks like. Learning isn't some event that happens after a failure, it just happens as part of the work. Managers start having meaningful conversations based on actual evidence. And your high performers, they feel seen, they get recognized, and guess what? They stick around. And the returns on this? They are absolutely unmistakable. We're talking lower attrition, faster onboarding for new hires, a massive reduction in the need for supervision and rework, fewer incidents, fewer disputes, and your leaders, their credibility just skyrockets because the system they've built actually works. And really, this is the ultimate payoff, right? This is that moment when an organization truly makes the leap. You go from being in that defensive crouch, always just trying to manage risk, to standing tall and being proactive, actively building and compounding value day in and day out.
So, this brings us right back to where we started. It brings us full circle to your real investment choice. Because remember that first thing we said? You're already paying for performance. That part's not up for debate. The only question left is, where do you want that cost to sit? For a lot of organizations right now, that cost is sitting squarely in the left column. It's showing up as churn, as risk, as tired leaders, and as lost opportunity. But you have a choice. You can decide to shift that very same cost and turn it into an investment in the right column, in real capability, in genuine confidence, and in sustainable performance that lasts.
At the end of the day, this all comes down to a decision that every leader has to make. It's a decision to stop accepting that this stuff is invisible. A decision to stop outsourcing accountability to a pile of paperwork that doesn't mean anything. And most importantly, a decision to finally take control of how performance is defined, how it's developed, and how it's proven in your organization.
Look, this isn't about just buying some new software or launching yet another training initiative. This has got a fundamental choice. A choice in how you want to lead and how you want to build your organization. And as we've seen here today, once you make that choice, well, that decision changes everything.